Welcome to the first ever episode of the podcast for the behind the scenes of the 74th Games and Beyond. I'm your host, Joanna Mason. I'm not actually Joanna. My name's Luna. Well, not Luna. It's just an acronym. But I play Joanna. I'm also one of the directors, writers, editors. I wear many hats in this film. And we're going to dive deep into the behind the scenes of our short fan films episodes of it. There's going to be more than one where we dive into somewhat of the story of the Hunger Games, but also we're going to put our own spin of a twist on it. Okay, and we're going to go into topic number 1. Why are we remaking the games? We're not remaking the games. We are just doing our own thing as well. We're just going to use a little bit of it, but not everything, because we don't want to get copyrighted. And basically, also because sometimes in the movie or books, they don't give you the clear context of the character's background, backstory, so forth and so on. Me, as also the scriptwriter, and my other friend, Carly, who's our Annie Cresta, shout out to you, and she's our Barbasher bird. She and I come up with ideas for the scripts, and we think you'll love the scripts. The scripts to us are great. The ideas of the backstories and we're doing some what ifs as well. That may not make sense. Let's say, here's something that comes to mind. What if Mr. Everdeen lived? I know it's not possible, but anyway. So going off the idea of Mr. Everdeen lived, basically, story time, let's go into this. It is basically, what if Mr. Everdeen lived? So say the mind collapsed, right? He was trapped, but he didn't die. He survived somehow off of bugs and whatever down there. And he eventually found his way out, and he found his way back home to his lovely wife, Mrs. Astrid March, aka Astrid Everdeen. So once he gets home, he sees everything's different around District 12. He goes to his house but finds no one's there. But Gail or someone ends up finding him and sees him. Or let's say, he met Hamish at the Hob. And basically, we'll go off of that here a little. He met Hamish at the Hob, and basically, Hamish is like, Burdock? Wait, am I drunk, or am I having a hallucination from alcohol withdrawal? And basically, Burdock's like, no, I'm here. I'm here. And so after Burdock says, I'm here, Hamish takes Burdock back to District 12 Victor's Village, and he's like, Birdie, there's something I ought to tell you. And he explains everything, what happened, and he lets Burdock, clean up, borrow some clothes, and basically, after that, Hamish and Burdock they knock on the door of the Everdeen home in Victor's Village, and basically, hey, Mrs. Everdeen answers, and she's like, hi, Hamish, and she sees Burdock standing there, and I imagine her in my mind basically having a mental breakdown, saying, how are you alive? And he's like, oh, I always have a way to find my way out. And he sees Prim, who he doesn't really know or realize it's Prim. But at this time, meanwhile, Katniss is hunting in the woods with Gale. I'm sorry to say, not my favorite character at all. Top 10 villains. And I'm a girl who loves a good villain. Don't get me wrong, but him, no. But, so basically, Katniss comes back with Gale. If I make the sound, that means Gale. So Katniss walks in and she says, "Mom, where are you? I brought back some gumdrops for Prim." I know I'm just making that up, even though R.I.P. Lenore Dove. Girl, you shouldn't have ate those gumdrops. Basically, she walks in, she sees her mother, her father, Prim, Haymitch, Otho Malark, Mrs. Malark, Peeta, and Peeta's brothers sitting in the living room. And they're all just laughing, smiling, having a good time. And Katniss goes, "Mom, who's the guy sitting..." Well, she knows who her dad is, right? But in this context, he's been dead for blah, 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 blah time. Blah, 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 blah. Plotless, plot points, da, 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 da. And basically, he goes, "Catnip, you don't recognize me?" And Katniss says, "Oh my god, it's Dad." She hugs him, blah, 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 blah. Emotional reunion. So, yeah, we're getting into stuff like that. Also, now we're going to go on to point 2. Will we be doing specific ships? Yes, we will. Basically, for ships, one we're going to do is Haymitch and Effie, Clado. Let's see. This one, I don't know how it's going to end, but Coin, ex-Plutarch, and we're still going to stick with, I can't think of their ship name, but Coriolanus and Lucy Gray. And, yeah, and Annie and Finnick. And also we're going to have a ship with Joanna and Blythe, I think that was his name, her district partner. So it'll be like, oh, she fell in love with him, da 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 da. Okay, as far as characters' backstories, we will show backstories for a lot of the characters. Like Cato, Clove, you name it, we got it. Except for Snow. We already know his background, Also, point 4. Will we have some interesting storylines? Yes, we will. Like Haymitch being haunted by Lenore Dove's ghost and Snow being haunted by Lucy Gray's ghost. Not like, oh, Katniss reminds him of Lucy Gray. No. We're going to do a step further and have him see the outline of her. As we have 2 people playing Snow, one young, one old. But anyways, I can't give much more away, but all I'm going to say is this is going to be epic. And thank you for listening to the first inaugural episode of the behind the scenes of the 74th Games and beyond. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Joanna Mason, signing off.